All right, so I am back. Man, I gotta move this over because it's all shiny. Welcome to the Call to Cinema. I am Aaron, and I'm gonna turn off the light in this room because it's way too bright. Because we got an unboxing to do, an unveilings, and we're gonna talk about an upcoming video as well, thanks to this here set. Hold on. Yeah, there's a. I'm gonna move this a bit. So, I'm here today. I'm here at an earlier time. Not quite sure if we're going to have many people in here today or not. Hey there, Eggman. Thanks. I was worried we weren't going to get anybody coming in. Hey there, Mark. Welcome, man. So today I got an Arrow video release. Hey, Paul. How's it going? Hey, Eric. Hey there, Jason. Hey, Shadow, man. You're here on a live one. So I got an Arrow video release, and I'm actually pretty excited about it because it sets up some research that I'm doing for an upcoming video. Now, a while back, this isn't what I got today, but a while back, during an Arrow sale, I picked up this here, the Ring collection. And after I got that, they had this Arrow digital sale. I do have it slipped, don't worry. And I managed to get Dark Water because I didn't have the bones to afford to actually pick up the physical copy of Dark Water yet. But I wanted to have it to watch with the features. So Arrow had this iTunes sale on there. Hey there, JR. And I grabbed Dark Water at the time. And that got me thinking I wanted to do like kind of an Asian horror, like J-horror, Korean horror, that type of stuff video. And I knew I had some stuff in my collection already, but there was a trilogy that was missing from my collection. Well, there's a couple, but I'm still working on getting some of those eventually. But today I got One Missed Call of the trilogy. So this is actually, this is a pretty cool, I've only seen, I think, the first One Missed Call. I'm trying to remember if I've seen the second one or not. I know I have not seen the One Missed Call final. I haven't seen that one for sure. But I have seen the first one with Takeshi Miike as the director. And I'm a huge fan of Miike's work. Now this is neat in the fact that I love the way this is done. You had yours from me. See, I wish I could have mine from release. One of the neat things about this is you can tell it has a slipcover, and it kind of looks, hey, Danuch, welcome, man, like it's going to be some kind of lenticular, but it's not. And then you think, okay, well, it's not a lenticular, it's going to have a matte type of finish to it, and it doesn't. It has this almost kind of wax style feel to the cover. And if you watch many J-horror, then this type of image, this style cover, is really going to stand out to you. It's definitely, if you're a fan of J-horror, it works. It works really well. And if you're a fan of the One Missed Call films, yeah, this is a pretty awesome cover. I love the look of this. And this is just this text. This is what you call, what we call slip cards, what they call in the UK an O card. Hey there, Scholar. Hey, Brian. So, feature-wise, it's pretty cool here. So, most of the features were, I think, previously on other releases of this, but I have never had a release of this film or any of these films. So, all this is new features to me. So, what we got here, we got all three of the films. There's One Missed Call, One Missed Call 2, and One Missed Call Final. Definitely much better than the remake. Oh my God. I remember the remake. Oh yeah, Black. Gotta have the O card. Hey, Cinematech. Feature-wise, we got a new audio commentary on here by Miike biographer Tom Mess. I'm going to assume it's on the first film. Making One Missed Call, an hour-long archival documentary on the film's production. Archival interviews on One Missed Call with a bunch of names I'm gonna mispronounce. Archival interview on One Missed Call with the director Takeshi Miike. Miike archival footage from the One Missed Call premiere. Live or Die TV special, not quite sure what that is. A Day with the Mizunuma Family. One Missed Call alternate ending, so I'll see what that is. The Making of One Missed Call 2, a half-hour archival documentary on the production. Gomu, a short film by One Missed Call 2 director. One Missed Call 2 deleted scene. One Missed Call 2 music video. If you've only seen the American version, please don't go by the American version. There's a huge difference. This one's actually good. Hey there, Alan. We got The making one was called Final, an hour-long archival documentary on the film's production. Maki and Mesa, an archival behind-the-scenes featurette on one was called Final with actress Maki Horikido and Misa Kuraki. I hope I got that right. Behind the scenes with Kun Suk Jang, an archival featurette with one was called Final, South Korean star. The Love Story, a short film tie-in for One Miss Call. Candid Mimiko, and archival location tour with this series' iconic villain. So if you've ever seen the films, at least these, then the kind of, I guess the villain, the anti-hero, whatever you want to call it, the spirit is named Mimiko. I'm pretty sure I got that right. Water tag, I gotta stay hydrated. So let's take it out of its slip. So this is the slip right here. Although because of the style of it, the haunted technology style that it has, it looks kind of like Slick and Tickler, but it's not. Usually, but today we're a forward-thinking cult. We don't need the dark. Binded by the blood of the cinema. Hey there, Cat Whisperer. Thanks a lot. Hopefully you get to come in on some of the live ones. Oh, well, some remakes are fantastic, like The Thing and like The Fly, and other ones not so much, like the remake of this. Definitely, Mark, check out these. This is much better. I haven't seen the third one. Here's being in the UK. Yeah, that's actually a good. So, disc-wise, it's a 2-disc set. So we got the first one on its own on one disc, and then we got number 2 and 3. So I don't think there should be too much compression issue with only 3 films. Hey there, my son. Me son. Now it does have a booklet with it, so we'll take a quick gander at that. Bit ominous on the back there. I would have loved to have like a little mini poster on this one. Cast and crew, Haunting by Proxy, Misdirected Messages, and the Woman's Called Trilogy by Anton Patel. So this booklet runs at 30 pages. And that's kind of creepy. And the, oh, okay. I wasn't aware this was coming out from Arrow, but I guess it is. So Arrow Video is putting out Inglourious Basterds. That was probably announced, and I missed that announcement. But maybe it was. But yeah, so that'll be cool. I've got an old Region 1 Steelbook of Inglourious Basterds. I wouldn't mind upgrading it. Now, I'll be honest with you. Often when I look at the Asian covers, I don't find them to be very exciting. So we'll check the alternate artwork just to see if something that I want to switch over. I usually switch over. It seems almost North Americanized, the artwork does. And I'm going to guess that's One Miss Call Final. I can't speak like Japanese, so I don't know. But it's not bad for some of the covers that I've seen. Some of the Yakuza covers that I got as kind of like the are these 90s films. I think the first one is at least. Let's see if it says a year here. And by the way, these are all subtitled, so you have the English subtitles here. So, for instance, and when I mention subtitles, one of the reasons I mention that is not just if you want to watch your movies in Japanese and get the English subtitles, but some people are hard of hearing, and and subtitles are imperative to them when they're looking for releases. So that's a good thing here, is that there are English subtitles on this. Unfortunately, there are no other language subtitles on here, so there's no like Spanish or French subtitles for people that don't speak English, for instance. Oh. So needless to say, as somebody that's going to be teaching classes on film, this is kind of good and bad for me, in the way that this one here is going to have only English subtitles, and a lot of people that I'll be teaching are French speaking. So I would have to find a way to translate it or find another edition of it. Always something to look into when you're looking at releases. Aspect ratio here, and what years did these come out? Was it in the 2000s? Yeah, 2003, 2005, and 2006. So they're early 2000s. So they're odd releases. And we got three different directors. We got Takeshi Miki, who did the first film. Not so, it depends on the age of the class I'm doing. Renpei, if AME was here, you would know this stuff. Tsukamoto, I'm gonna guess. He did make Edition, which is a fantastic film, which I'm guessing you've seen because you just mentioned it. If you haven't seen Edition, guys, I do recommend that you check it out. It is an amazing film. And the third one is done by Manabu So. Now, I've heard conflicting things on, like, everybody loves the first one. But when it comes to the second or the third, people go back and forth on which one they like best. Some people find that the second one is a little bit too much of the like the first one, and other people like the fact that the third one's a lot more different. And other people are kind of vice versa with it. They actually love the second one a lot more, and then they think the third one kind of veers off a little bit too much. Now, I haven't seen the third one, so I cannot tell you yet. That being said, I have to say, I am super excited to look at this, and for a specific reason, as I mentioned here. If you weren't here on the channel when I mentioned it, I am going to be doing a some film kind of like retrospective. I'm doing some giallo stuff. You've seen that recently. I'm going to be talking about J-horror, and this is kind of what I need. This is one of the missing spots in my J-horror collection. When I was writing down the title of this, I was going to leave it at the M and the A in one miscall in the title, and kind of But then I thought some people might mess it up and people wouldn't realize what it is, so I didn't do that. I apologize. I literally just got off work and grabbed a shower and came on to make this video. I was excited to get this. This wasn't supposed to arrive until the 13th of May, so thank you to my postal company that actually got this here to me early. So sometime this week, I've got to rewatch the Ring trilogy. I got to watch all these films. I got to watch Dark Water. Got to watch House, which is a Criterion release. If I still got that here, actually. And not the House, not the one not the North American one. There's a different House. And I think The Happiness of the Katacaris is another one I want to watch as well, which is a really weird film, but it's a lot of fun if you haven't seen it. There's a couple others that I need to grab before I can actually make my release, make my video. But in the near future, we'll be looking at a J-horror video as soon as I can watch them all and do some research on it, because it should be a fun video. I'm gonna go with Easy Rider because I can't think of anything right now for a Peter Fonda film. But the Julie's Gold and stuff like that. But I'm just gonna go for Easy Rider because it's it's the go-to. But yeah, that's coming up there. So I'm gonna mention Julie's Gold, and I do have that one. I got the Olive release of that film. Olive had a really good release of Julie's Gold, and it is a really kind of a touching film. But I got to go with Easy Rider because that Peter Fonda's the man in Easy Rider. Now, I was asked today when the Severin sale is going to happen, because Vinegar Syndrome's doing their sale. Now, I'm not quite sure. Severin normally does a sale around the time of Vinegar Syndrome, usually a few days afterwards. Is what they'll do is Vinegar Syndrome will have their sale, and then Severin will either do theirs the day of, or often just as Vinegar Syndrome sale ends, they'll start up their sale. That's what happened last Halfway to Black Friday. Is that I got the Halfway to Black Friday stuff, and I was so excited. And then as soon as I placed in the end of my order, Severin sale started up. So you just keep an eye out. The Vinegar Syndrome's Halfway to Black Friday sale is the 22nd to the 25th. So just keep an eye out on both sites. Have I seen the sequel? No, I don't think I. Maybe I haven't. I can't think of it right now. Now you start adding. So people, is anybody doing that, by the way? Is adding things to their cart now so that they got it ready for when the sale comes? Because I remember that I mentioned that a couple of videos ago, and I'm kind of curious to see if anybody was actually going to do what I normally do. Now, I'll be honest with you, I'm probably not going to be able to grab anything from this sale, so I'm going to spend my time during the Vinegar Syndrome sale helping you guys. Hey there, Chris. That's things are tight right now. So I'll try and help you guys when it comes to getting stuff. That's a lot of titles. Can you get, do you normally get that much? Because I'm super jealous if you get that much. Now, I did a trade with a friend of mine on here, actually. One of my first, like, I don't do a lot of trades, but one of the guys on here, and I won't say the name yet until, he traded, he had a couple things that he wanted to trade with me. So I got a couple Vinegar Syndromes coming. One that's going to be good for a video that I'm doing on Spanish horror. So I'm doing a video on Spanish horror, including Nashi and Jose Larraz and stuff like that. But there's a film that was kind of missing that I really wanted in my collection, and I got that and a couple others to go with it. I did a trade, and I'm actually super stoked about that. So that'll take a while, because the way things are going from like Canada to the U.S. right now, and vice versa, I got a feeling it'll probably take a few weeks to get here. That's what I'm sending out tomorrow. Actually, is my trade, which is always fun, because sometimes you'll have something, you have a double of something, and somebody will need it really badly, and you'll need something that they need. So that was cool. I was actually super stoked about that, and you'll get to see that. So that's an extra unboxing you're going to see. Now, House of Vanish to get a little. Here's the thing. I'm a bit of a huge fan of Jose Larraz. So I'm not the greatest unbiased name. And I'll be honest with you, I don't remember the House of Vanish so much. I probably know it, but it's probably like a lot of the other ones, one of those where if I see it, it'll snap into place, and I'll be able to tell you. Like I watched Deadly Manor when I was with my dad in Corner Brook. So we turned it on, and they had like this picture and this white face like thing on the cover. So we turned it on, and like 5 minutes in, I knew exactly what was going to happen, because I remember seeing Deadly Manor when I was younger, and liking it a lot. That was a fun Larraz film. It was his last film, actually, and Arrow Video put that one out. I got to get that one from Arrow, actually. The Deadly Manor I'll eventually get, and of course Edge of the Axe, which is the one I really want, because it kind of ties into one of my Jallies that I got over there. One of them actually has a lot of stars from Edge of the Axe in it. So anybody that's getting the Forgotten Jally stuff, and that haven't know that if you got the Jose Larraz Edge of the Axe release, then that's gonna have a lot of stars from one of the Jallies on there. I would be really disappointed if it was Brain Smasher. Not that it's not a great film. Brain Smasher, is that the Andrew Dice Clay film? Is that the one you're thinking about, or is that the one I'm thinking about? See, there are films that I want to see released, and there's films that I'll be glad to get, but I'll be honest. Brain Smasher is not a release where I'm going to be like, I got to get this on day one. This got to be one of my sale items, type of thing. YouTube's getting bad with that. So if you want to make sure the notifications get through, because YouTube can be sneaky this way, please smash the like button if you like the videos and you want to keep getting notifications on them. What am I touching? Dracula 2000. I actually liked that film. A lot of people didn't. It got a lot of hate back in the day. But I was a big fan of Dracula 2000. I liked the origin of Dracula in that film. I thought it was a neat way to go with it. It was a cool concept. And that's one of the things that bother people. You got a lot of actors, but it became really big. Actually, after Dracula 2000, you got Gerard Butler, Johnny Lee Miller. I think Jerry Ryan's in Dracula 2000. I'm not quite sure, but I think she is. The girl from 7 to 9. But yeah, there's a lot of stars in that one, and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Dracula 2000. That was a really fun film. It's definitely a film of its time, but it's something I can watch now again. I do apologize if there's any static on this, but this is literally my only mic right now. And I said I was going to be doing like a kind of a super chat down the road type of thing, I've been trying to put it off. She was in Star Trek, yeah. She was in Star Trek Voyager. She's the one that was the tight silver suit. Because I'm trying to focus just on doing videos like just that are fun entertainment purpose for the channel. That's what I'm doing. That's my focus. Because eventually I'll get into like doing the podcast stuff as well. And then I'm looking into getting different mics and that. But at this time, right now, my job is to hopefully entertain you guys, or at least keep you guys in a sane spot for a time when things are kind of nuts out there. And I do apologize, but for the lighting here, I was actually going to go downstairs and make my video today, even though my leg is not the best. It's it's getting better. But I said, oh, I'll come in here. I want to do it quick. I want to go downstairs. My better half's talking to her mom on the phone. But I kind of feel like I'm being lit up there. But I got a huge forehead, so that's what happens when you don't have a lot of hair. So, or that your hair migrates to another part again. So hey there, William. I'm going to take a minute to see if there's any questions that you guys got, and then we'll go from there. Because with with the smaller unboxing, it's not easy to you can't stretch out an unboxing over an hour-long video type thing, or then you're just like pushing it. Then I'd be taking out and showing you the disc and like, oh, look at the color beyond disc, that type of thing. We're not going to do that. We'll be here as long as it's fun for you. I would love to own Possession. I haven't seen Possession Ragman since for a long time. That is a great film, by the way. If you got Possession, kudos, because it's a fantastic film with some incredible acting. I like to find a list of movie stores online, from premium to boutique to budget. I'm definitely still interested in doing the duo video. We'll have to start doing on a weekend sometime, because for me right now, it's like I'm finding that, not tonight, but normally where I've been like working and then crashing for a bit. Came into my coffin. That's it. This is how I get to prove to you guys that I'm not actually a vampire. Or do I? Because you never know. Maybe vampires are like, maybe they're the ones. Wouldn't that be cool? There's a cool concept for you. So if you got like you have like vampire, and and you find out like the Bram Stoker, and those guys are actually the writers. So the create Dracula and the ones that did Vampire and stuff. They're actually the vampires, and they're putting out like false knowledge into the world, so that people, like when their existence becomes known, people are going to get garlic and get steaks and like crosses, and none of that stuff works because they've already like ingrained that into your mind. Just a neat thought. That's my writer's brain. It's probably a stupid idea, but I just thought it up. Anyway, there you go. Is Tropic Thunder racist? Not at all. Because it's supposed to do that type of thing. It's meant to. He's meant to be kind of an idiot. So, how late do you usually stay up watching films? Depends. Lately, honestly, Cinematech, for me, it depends on the mood that I'm in. I work, so I'm usually up at like 7 every morning, if not earlier. My shift starts at 9. I'm working 9 to 5:30. It's like straightforward every day. Though if something lasts longer, I end up like going a little bit over. It depends if I have any cases or stuff to do when I get up. So if it's not too bad a day, I try to watch 1 or 2 films per day. When like the day that I did the Forgotten Jolly stuff, I ended up watching 3 or 4 films. And then sometimes my better half wants to watch stuff Monday and Friday. Yeah, it didn't used to be that way. I used to have basically I wasn't sure. I'd have 2 days off and it wouldn't be in a row. The reason I took the position that I took was because it had weekends, and it had a completely straight shift. I no longer want to work in a job where it's like 1 day off here and 1 day off there. I found that really, really hard to deal with, basically. So this was a really kind of breath of fresh air. I loved it. Yeah, I try to watch around a couple movies. No, my better half recently, she hasn't been feeling the best. Like different things than before. But she got like she has her like her happy show, which is kind of like Scooby Doo. So we'll watch Scooby Doo. So if she wants to watch some cartoons and stuff like that, and she hits her happy spot, and where we're just sitting down together and we're watching Scooby Doo and Dynamite or something like that, then then the movie watching for then is off, and then I'll take it up the next day. So I'll probably like when I go to bed, I'll listen to like a movie podcast, and I'll do some reading, usually with one of the books that I got, and sometimes on film. I do film's kind of my with some from work. So film's kind of my life. It's what I do. It's what I love. When I think what my next collection video is going to be, I actually don't know. I'll be honest with you, Chris. I got to get back into the movie library long enough to see, and I got to go through and see which ones I've done, because I've done like a few. I've done like The Shameless. I think I did Arrow. I have actually. I mean, I got physical books, but I have a Kobo reader. I went for a Kobo rather than a Kindle this time. I used to have a Kindle at one point, and because I read so much. That books can be really, like even more so than books can be expensive. So I do tend to buy like tend to buy stuff on my Kobo, and that I've got like a lot of stuff on there, everything, and I read a lot. So yeah, I got an e-reader, and I find them really good. Have I seen the new I've seen like is it Australian? I didn't know. I saw the imprint. I saw like one of their boxes. I can't remember what the name of the movie was for one of their films. Like I saw it on. I'm not sure it's on Facebook or on Twitter, and I thought it looked really good. The aesthetics of the box looked really nice, but I didn't know that it was an Australian imprint, Australian label. But yeah, I'm interested in seeing what they put out. There's a few new labels like slowly coming out right now. If you're in Canada, for instance, I'm not sure if any of my Canadian people are on here right now, but if you are on Amazon.ca. If you collect the MVD rewinds that are out, the one that's coming out in August, the Bolo Young double feature, is on right now for $21, I think, which is really good for MVD rewind. And definitely, I would say pre-order that now, because by August you should be able to get it on time. If you pre-order, that is. And it should be like it should be a fun one. I like Bolo Young. I like a lot of the martial arts films. And I do need to do martial arts, kind of like a big martial arts video one of these days. Once I get the Bruce Lee thing, maybe we'll do it then. War of the Worlds, Waterloo, Soaring. Oh, that's the one I saw, Soaring Number. I made a Much Matter Space. I love that movie, The Duelist. So out of those, eventually War of the World, but Soaring Number and American Monster from Outer Space are the ones that stand out that I've seen the Crow. I've seen all the Crow films, as well as read the books by James Barr. The graphic novels. And I like the first one. Not so big on the other ones though. They're okay. Not that good. The second one's really bad. Hey there, 13 Wolf Man. I have gotten the one that's called Trilogy. So that means I'm going to be doing a J-horror video. And it's probably going to take at least 2 weeks because I got to watch a lot of freaking films. Do you like the Vincent, what's his name? Vincent, I can't remember his name now. I think he's a French actor. My better half would know right away because she knows all the French actors. Because obviously she watched a lot of French cinema. She lived in Morocco, and the cinema there, a lot of it comes from France. But I like the first Crow. I watched the Curse series. Did anybody watch the Curse series on Shudder? Does anybody have Shudder? Or does anybody watch the Curse series? So I'm kind of curious. You guys are so quiet today. Maybe it went too early, guys. Okay. So Brian, you watched Curse series, right? Or at least some part of it. I know my kids were watching it. I gave them a heads up on the last episode. Because the last 2 episodes really. Curse Films is a series, and it's about films that by the public have been considered like films that are kind of cursed. Now, that's the thing that the from what I got from the series is that like none of these films are actually cursed, and it's kind of insulting to think so, uh, especially to the people that lost their lives like through random tragedies throughout the films. That's the way I took it anyway. Um, I will say that it is. There's a couple like scenes, like in the last one where they show an accident. I always say, heads up for that. And in the one before that, in the Crow episode, they show some pictures that Brandon Lee had did, like I guess for the film, they did some those I guess promotional kind of like set pictures where his character is killed, not in real life, pretend killed. Um, and that I thought was out of all the stuff that was in there, like even apart from showing the accident type things, I'd seen that before. I thought showing the pictures, the Brandon Lee pictures, was a little tasteless, and that they didn't need to. You didn't. There's no reason to push that envelope. There was really no reason to put that there other than just like kind of exploit the emotions a little bit. So that was my own. That was my only like iffy part with the whole thing. I didn't mind like they let you know there's the accident. You've seen the Twat Zone accident. Most people have seen that anyway, and it is from farther off. But the Brandon Lee pictures bothered me a bit. The show itself, however, is well done, and it's and the one thing that you learn from the series is none of these films are cursed. That has nothing to do with being cursed or Indian burial grounds or anything like that. It has to do with just some freaky, tragic stuff that happened to people along the way. People had died or were murdered or in accidents. It was the TZ accident. My better half she was bothered after the Twilight Zone episode, and I had to let her know ahead of time. I actually did like Crow's Stairway to Heaven. That's the one with Mark Dacascos, right? The one that would go on to be like in the Hawaii Five-0 series, the new one, as the main bad guy. But yeah, I actually did like Crow, the Stairway to Heaven. I liked it better than the films, than the sequels, to be honest with you. I still think the worst one is the one that had David Boreanaz in it. I got it downstairs. I probably got to watch it again sometime. I remember like really like struggling to get through it. Oh no, they should normally show sites there, Dave. Hold on, let me just bring it up. All right. All the messages that you get, right? Because I don't want to sign to my iCloud right now. Later. It's going to come up like half a dozen times. So let me go to the Severin website. The one good thing about being in this room, I got to say, as opposed to so when you go to the Severin website, it's right here, there's a shop part on here. And you click on shop. And then you should see the prices underneath everything. So, as you can see, the Lenzi Baker set is still there. I recommend that, by the way. So anybody that hasn't looked into this, like Umberto Lenzi, Carol Baker set, still strongly recommend it to you guys. Now, they did have a few more of the Al Adamson sets because some people just, they couldn't afford it and they had to cancel their orders. But it looks like that the Adamson set came back in again and actually went out of stock again. You got it pre-ordered, Shadow? Me too. Actually, I didn't know. My better half pre-ordered it for me and then surprised me. Question. I kind of wonder, will I get my Adamson set right away? Because I got that set pre-ordered in June. They're not going to wait till the June set, till the Umberto Lenzi set comes out. Just give me my Adamson set, I hope. Because I was one of the first people to pre-order the Adamson set. So hopefully that'll get sent out fairly soon. Because I got the bundle for the Ghastly bundle, right? And this time I'm going to get... So on Hemisphere Horror set, man, if it ever comes back in again, I'll let you know right away if I see it there. But the Umberto Lenzi, Carol Baker set, excellent giallo stuff with some really, really good soundtracks and some hard to find like musical soundtracks in there. Anytime, Dave. But the other cool thing is there's the Paranoia t-shirt. or I guess like Orgasmo is what you call it. But it's got the yellow T-shirt, so it's got the Jello color T-shirt. Now, the difference between the Severin and the Vinegar Syndrome sales, just so you know, is that the Vinegar Syndrome sales usually almost everything don't open up. I'm going to say that right now. But like we live right next door. Please don't open up yet. Just concerned person here. But the the with the Vinegar Syndrome sale, most everything, yeah, you can buy most of them, but you can't buy everything. That's the issue. The same with the Blood Island set. There's there's a double feature in the Hemisphere Horror set that's only in the set, and there's a film in the Blood Island set that's only in that set they haven't been released on their own. The Amicus set was the same way. You can buy two of the films, but you can't buy the third film on its own. So there's Severin because it's a limited edition set, they're not like Indicator where they're going to put them all out like individually afterwards, because they're not going to have like each can have the booklets that they can take out. But I would say just keep an eye out for the set. It is a nice set. Like if Severin ever has any more of them there, like because they do tend to keep some for conventions, and that's the reason we got some releases come back, was because there's no conventions going on right now. Anyway, what I was going to say, the Vinegar Syndrome sale, basically everything back 3 months back is usually around 50% off, with like a certain percentage of like off some of the other stuff. But 3 months back, so go back 3 months of Vinegar Syndrome. That stuff, all that stuff there, that should all be 50% off or more sometimes. The Severin sale, it's differently. You got to go back 6 months. So some titles are going to be normal, some titles are going to be maybe slightly reduced, but mostly with the Severin sale, it's you go back 6 months, and that's the titles that are going to be 50% off. People tend to get confused and think that they're going to be the same. The RUS funds, it's actually a good price for that. Like I was looking at it, and I was like, do I want to get the box set, or do I want to get the box set with the T-shirt and with like the pictures, with the with the postcards, and it was like what, $12 in the difference, and that was a no-brainer. Yes, I want the T-shirt and the postcards, because I definitely within the first 1,000 for the people that ordered that set. Now, another thing that's been announced with that Umberto Lenzi Carol Baker set is I'm from my age. My cousin used to get these photo romance comics, right? And they would come from Italy, and they'd have like a lot of like Italian like giallo stars and that, and they'd be doing like these. It would be like pictures, like live, like stills, like photo stills, and it would make up this story. I'm not sure, maybe it was like Italian films or like romance films or something, but they'd be like a comic book, but they'd be like pictures, and they'd be like writing, just like a comic book, but photo stills instead of like art. And when it comes to these, they are actually finding some of these photo books, and they got one for one of the Giallos. And it's going to be with an Umberto Lenzi set, so I'm looking forward to that. It's a 52-page one. How is Cutting Class in terms of a slasher film? It's okay. I mean, I like Cutting Class. I like the actors in Cutting Class. I do think my only like qualm with Cutting Class, and if anybody's seen it, they can tell me what they think, is that there's two people throughout the film that the killer could be. When the killer is finally revealed, I have to say, I wish it was the other person. That it would have been a little bit more entertaining for me if they had gone in the other direction. That's the one thing. Joe Sholin, starred the film. She's not a big fan of it apparently. Just if you get the movie, just watch her interview. or don't watch Rainbow because it's a bit depressing, like hearing her talk about it. Because I thought it was a fun film. You got Roddy McDowall in there and Martin Mull. I'm not alone on that. Actually, recently I saw a couple things talked about it, like as like I don't know. I'd have to go in and look. Actually, I think that I think Psycho is a psychological thriller. More so than a slasher. But I guess if you want to be technical, slashing occurs in Psycho with the knife. So I guess you can call it a slasher that way. But it doesn't like pertain to a lot of the tropes of what a slasher movie would become. I guess is the best way to put it. But then again, that's just me. That's just one person's thoughts on the matter. I'd have to look into it more. I want to do a slasher video down the road. So when I do that, maybe I'll do some research then, and I'll give you my idea what I think the first slasher is. I can tell you what I think one of the most influential slasher films was, and I would say, hey Amy, welcome man. That the first slasher, one of the most influential slasher films out there is Black Christmas, because Black Christmas definitely influenced Halloween, which started it and then brought on, well, 100%, yes. Not the first one, but one of the most influential ones, because that's how Halloween came about. If Black Christmas would have had a sequel, its plotline would have been very similar to Halloween, which Bob Clark knew before the babysitter murders came about, just so you know. But yes, I still consider Black Christmas one of the greats. And one of the best, like when it comes like well shot, well done films, and definitely stands the test of time. Not every film does, when you go to rewatch them, but that one does. I don't think so, actually. Like I totally disagree that Black Christmas 2019 was an insult. This is now to preface that. Black Christmas 1974 is my favorite film, and that's what got me started, like wanting to study cinema. Black Christmas 2019 is not at all anything like Christmas in the way, like it's not the quality of Black Christmas. 2006 Black Christmas, however, I do consider an insult. Out of the three films, there were three films with the name Black Christmas. There was the original 1974 one, which is a classic by any standards. And that's what I like about it. I like the cinematography. I like the acting. I like the writing. I like the fact that people sound like people actually talk. And the cinematography is genius and gorgeous. And there's some shots there that are just so brilliantly done and executed. And a part of it's going to come from the fact that I'm Canadian. There's a very Canadiana about Black Christmas. It's a the most Canadian horror film you'll ever see, by the way. It's called Cannibal Girls. We'll get back to that one. Hey there, George. But Black Christmas, just it stood out. It was the you're rarely going to find like a film like that that really succeeds, that doesn't have like a sense of like morose humor, especially the dark humor, especially with Margot Kidder's character. And I grew up knowing a lot of people like Margot Kidder. Obviously, I lived in the area at a period of time. I lived in Ontario, and that type of that atmosphere, it really sunk into me. I was probably around I was very young when I saw Black Christmas for the first time. So it was on TV. I'd probably been on CBC, and we're probably when I was around probably around 6 or 7. Margot Kidder is Canadian. Lois Lane's Canadian. She was a fantastic actress. She had some issues, so I was going through, unfortunately, but great actress. One of my first crushes was Margot Kidder. When it comes to the 2006 one, for instance, it's badly shot. It's not well. The story kind of doesn't make sense. And it doesn't play to the strengths of Black Christmas. It tries to make itself this generic slasher film, but then it tries to take stuff from other films, and they make kind of like a Bart Simpson looking killer, and then they put in another killer, which lessens the impact of Billy or Belial. If you want to go by Nick Mancuso, who actually voiced the character, he didn't call him Billy, he called him Belial. But it was overall, it was pretty insulting to exactly what was done, and it tried to do like a couple gross out effects, which are good. It's a horror film, but it didn't stay true to like kind of the tone of Black Christmas. Now, the 2019 Black Christmas, whether you like it or hate it, and people are on both sides of the fence, like it's polarizing as a film. There's certain things that I enjoy. It's silly, and it doesn't try to be what the 74 one. The 2006 one tries to like be like kind of a hollow copy of what the 74 one is. But it doesn't work well. And I'll tell you one why that I think, like in my personal opinion, that I think the 2006 one failed so badly and that it didn't initially have to, is that Glenn Morgan is the guy that did it. He had originally worked on X-Files. He had come off of doing Willard with Crispin Glover, and he put a lot of himself into that film. Now that film failed pretty bad. So when it came time to do Black Christmas, you can tell and watch the features and stuff, look at the interviews around the time, he did not have the confidence to be helming a film like that. And it shows. It shows in the direction, it shows in like some stuff done. There's a lot of studio fingers in Black Christmas. Now, the new Black Christmas, the 2019 one, was like done with a cult type of thing and just kind of like possession. Which I thought was tongue-in-cheek. It was Black Christmas and pretty much like almost a name alone, except for one thing. The original Black Christmas, and the part that people don't talk about probably enough when it comes to Black Christmas, is it had a strong message. And without like getting like political or anything like that, just to put it to you this way, Black Christmas came out right after Roe versus Wade. And one of the key components in Black Christmas was an abortion subplot. And I think that was kind of what stuck with in the 2019 one. I don't think it was completely well executed in everything that was done. I thought it was fun and it was silly. I don't think it was Black Christmas, but it was far enough removed from the original for someone that like whose favorite film is Black Christmas. It was far enough removed from the original Black Christmas that I didn't feel insulted. 2006 one got none of the feeling of the original Black Christmas, but it tried to trick you into by just shoving a bunch of really like pretty actors and actresses in there, and having like no soul to it. So that's my thoughts on the three films. The 1974 one still, it's the only one that's ever going to go down as a classic. Neither the 2006 or the 2019 one is ever going to be thought of like years down the road as a classic. They'll be fun little watches at best. The 2006 one will be one of those like drinking ones where you kind of watch with your friends because it's so bad type of thing. And the 2019 one is going to be some of those silly kind of fun ones you watch with a bunch of people. See, originally they had planned to work. They were working with Bob Clark. Like he had like ideas and thoughts on exactly on like a backstory, and he gave them a little bit of carte blanche with what to do. But they had some of his notes and stuff like that. So they were going to go with some of his ideas, some of his thoughts. Now, unfortunately, Bob Clark died before Black Christmas was completed and released. So we'll never know what his thoughts on the 2006 Black Christmas is. And of course, obviously, we're not going to know what his thoughts on this one would have been as well. But Clark was a really good cinematographer and had a really strong, steady hand when it came to direction. Even his worst films are look at Baby Geniuses, right? Are well shot and well composed. But like it's his early stuff, like it's his A Christmas Story or Black Christmas or Murder by Decree, that you really kind of see like the key Bob Clark stuff. Unfortunately, One of the people I wanted to meet more than anything, Brian, I never got to meet. Bob Clark had passed away long before I had a chance to meet him, or I'd gotten to see like many of celebrities of that sort. I did get to talk to Nick Mancuso, who's the voice in the in Black Christmas. So if you ever watch Black Christmas original and you're looking at like hear these voices, so there's a few different voices, but the main voice that you hear for hello, it's me, Billy, is that's horrible like rendition. Is Nick Mancuso. He's a Canadian actor. He starred in a show in Canada called Stingray. That was one of the series that he did. He did a lot of stuff. He's a very good actor. But early days of like Facebook, and I've said this story before. It's been a while though. Basically, I was on there, and there's one of these things like, what person would you choose out of your Facebook people? Who would be the better singer, and like who would be the better dancer? Who would you take at a party? That type of thing. And they'd give you two Facebook profiles, and you had to choose between those two profiles. So Nick Mancuso was one of the people that had recently been on my Facebook, and he sent my friend request. So I got to singer, and it was late at night too, and I'm like, okay, I'll choose Nick Mancuso for singer because he's an actor. And so it's like 2 minutes later, I get a message pop up on my Facebook, and it's like, you shouldn't have chosen me for singer, dude. And that was Nick Mancuso, and we had a little conversation after that about Christmas and all that. So that was interesting. So social media, in the early days at least. Now everybody's on, and it's hard to actually contact people. What's the worst? I'd have to look into Bob Clark's filmography again. Maybe Genius is not my favorite, so we'll go with that one. It baffles me that the guy that it's insane. Like when you look at the way some filmmakers go. Look at guys like the guy that did the Mad Max films, and he did like Babe. So people like, but Bob Clark is like that. He's like one of those eclectic directors that can do like a lot of different things. He was fairly young. I'd have to look back, to be honest with you, to check. But sadly, Bob Clark died. Bob Clark died way too early, much like Mustafa Akkad died way too early. Happy Feet. I forgot about Happy Feet actually. But it's kind of amazing though but one of the coolest things, do not say A Christmas Story. I love A Christmas Story. Is that he's made a Christmas horror film and a Christmas comedy film, and both of these Christmas films today are considered classics. So he's made like a classic, like which one become this classic in the slasher genre with Black Christmas, and he made like this classic like Christmas comedy called A Christmas Story. How can you not like Christmas Story? It's such a good film, and it's so funny. And if you don't like A Christmas Story, I'm going to tell you what you need to do. You go watch A Christmas Story 2. Go watch that film. And after you watch that film, then you're going to love A Christmas Story. Because A Christmas Story 2, not done by Bob Clark, by the way, is such a bad film. And not even watchable. Oh yes, it's a sequel. It's a horrible sequel. You get a guy playing a grown-up version of Ralphie. Shoot shy of a kid. Zeta Rhinestone? I forgot. I didn't know that. See, so many films that Rhinestone, by the way, guys, for those unaware, it's a Sylvester Stallone Dolly Parton film. Take with that what you like, but okay, you got to give Christmas Story another chance. It's such a cool film. But even if you don't like A Christmas Story, the one Bob Clark film aside from Black Christmas that you must see, that you must 100% see, and I'm not even joking, is Murder by Decree. If you've never seen Murder by Decree, it is a film starring Christopher Plummer, and it is literally Sherlock Holmes taking on Jack the Ripper. It is an amazingly well done film. So make sure that if you have not seen Murder by Decree, see Murder by Decree. Not, there's a couple Christopher Plummer films that you got to see if you're a horror fan. Murder by Decree is one of them. And the other one is, it's another Christmas movie too, is Silent Partner. So both of those films are musts. 100% must. If you haven't seen those films, those are films that should be on your watch list. Nice talking. Yeah, I never thought about that actually. You got to think outside the box on these Christmas films too. But yeah, no, has anybody here not seen Murder by Decree? Hey, Joseph. No, that's yeah, but there, Brian. It's your type. It's extremely well acted. Okay. Danuch, come on, man. Murder by Decree. Christopher Plummer plays Sherlock Holmes. There's we get the murders, the Ripper murders, a very scary Jack the Ripper. And if you remember that scene, and it's probably one of the most infamous scenes in the film, in Black Christmas, when Olivia Hussey comes into Margot Kidder's room, and we see the eye peeking out from the doorway, and we hear the "Hi, it's me, Billy" line. Now the famous line. There's a scene in Murder by Decree when we see the Ripper's eyes for the first time. We see Jack the Ripper's eyes for the first time. We see him like that. It's definitely it's you remember it. You remember it. It's neat. It's well done. There's a really great monologue by Christopher Plummer, and I can't even tell you anything about it. It's a really impassioned one, and it really stands out. He always hated the sound of music. He made it, but he's never been a huge fan of it. And I'll be honest with you, neither am I. If out of all the Christopher Plummer movies, if I could take one and Christopher Plummer is one of Canada's great actors. If I could ever take a Christopher Plummer movie and never watch it again, Sound of Music is that movie. I'm a guy, I love musicals. Guys, I watched the High School Musical. I watched all three of the High School Musicals. I watched Camp Rock and Camp Rock 2. I ain't going to sit through I'll watch them again, but I am not going to sit through Sound of Music again. It just didn't do it for me. I know a lot of people love it, and I know it's a classic, but just like some of you don't like A Christmas Story, which is also a classic, and it is considered so, I don't like the Sound of Music. It's a good story, I'm sure. I like Nicholas Hammond when he played Spider-Man. Insiders, Michael Wallace, great job he did there. But no, Sound of Music is one of those that I just can't get into. Are there any super low budget musicals? The usual stuff like Rock Horror Picture Show, Shock Treatment, Phantom of the Paradise, and those three are go-tos. It's not really a musical, but it's got musical numbers in it. There's a film, it's a really weird film called Big Meat Eater. And I don't mind the movie Children of the Corn. My kids hated Children of the Corn. I don't like the short story Children of the Corn because the characters are so unlikable. And I think that's part with the movie too. The characters aren't super likable. But I don't know if I call The Wicker Man a musical. But yeah, there's definitely has important musical elements to it. That's like Big Meat Eater. Anybody here seen Big Meat Eater? I just want to know because it's such a weird film. Perfect, Joe's okay. It starts off, Joe starts with a song, here's the man walking down the street. He's a beautiful. It's just such a strange. Just look up the opening of Big Meat Eater sometime. It's super weird. There's a sequence where they have these two Thai robots, and they're supposed to be like aliens, really, but they're obviously wind-up robots. And there's bologna. There's a huge. I think this guy was a wrestler that was in it. Look at your last comment. Okay, didn't finish the sequel. Yeah, My Summer Story. Unfortunately, that got forgotten by because of the stupid A Christmas Story 2, which is horrible and is not done by Bob Clark. And I don't know if I've seen A Summer Story, to be honest with you, to be totally honest with you. I don't think I have. If I have, I don't remember it. To All a Good Night's fun. It's it's one of the only films I think directed by David Hess, who usually plays the sleazy guy, the killer, the rapist type character. That's what he does. It's kind of a Christmas horror film. It stars Jennifer Runyon. She was like one of those '80s kind of like horror stars. When horror stars, she was in like stuff like she was in Charles in Charge, and she would be in like Ghostbusters. She's in the beginning of Ghostbusters. She's really gorgeous blonde. And Up the Creek with Tim Matheson, she's the star, the female lead in that one as well. She went on to marry like Roger Corman's son, I think. But anyway, so she's the star of it, and it's interesting. It's not perfect or anything like that. It's not like it's not going to be creeped out, but I enjoyed it. I'm glad I got it. It's a fun one, and it has some unique aspects to it. It's not my first go-to. Some of the Elvis musicals are like, yeah, sometimes for good reason, sometimes. Emily, yes, because I made the Umberto Lenzi, Carol Baker video. Emily said, you got to make a video on Umberto Lenzi, Carol Baker, and Emily never showed up. So there. She was Gwendolyn, yeah. Xanadu is one of the worst musicals. There's a place in my heart for Xanadu, actually. I haven't never seen the third Amy, actually. It's a bit early. Okay, I'll forgive you this time. But I'm rewatching them sometime this week. I'm going to buy Just One of the Guys eventually. There's a lot of stuff that I need to get, unfortunately. It's a great film. I like that one. Is Clayton Rohner in Just One of the Guys? The guy from like April Fool's Day, or am I thinking of another film? I remember the film because she's a journalist and she goes. And Elvis Presley. I like Elvis, but I'm named after Elvis. So for those of you that are unaware, my first name is Aaron, and my dad named me after Elvis. So because Elvis's middle name, and also the name this would have been his twin, Elvis Aaron Presley. So a semi-career in like the entertainment field in some way had to happen, right? But no, that's completely true. I'm named after Elvis. I will get I do want Ghost Ship. I want all the Dark Castle ones. I like Dark Castle Entertainment. The worst thing about Ghost Ship, and I like the film, is that it sabotages itself by having such a great opening that it's hard to, like, how do you beat it after that mass killing at the beginning of Ghost Ship? That's the killer part with Ghost Ship. I love the one with the Carpenter film. Another underrated one, Michael St. Gerard. Emily, you're missing out my video. I did a review of the set, of the Forgotten Jelly set. I did, of all three films, of Trauma and Police of Blood in the Dark, and The Killer's 1 of 13. And I put it as my first, called a cinema certified release that I think that everybody should pick up that likes Jelly. Ghost Ship like Death Ship, not at all. Definitely check it out, but it's spoilery, so make sure there's a Trauma one too. Make sure you watch Trauma before you watch that video, because it's I do go into spoilers, and I'd be interested in I know you got that set, so I'd be very interested in your thoughts on my thoughts about Trauma. But so Death Ship is a Canadian film. It's put up by Scorpion Releasing, I think. And question. I got Trauma. Did you see it as more than one killer? Because when I watched Trauma, I saw it as more than one killer. But Death Ship is it's a haunted ship. Or probably more with Triangle, with Melissa George Moore Triangle, than a Ghost Ship. Ghost Ship is different. It's differently done. Saul Rubinek, actually a really good Canadian actor. He's the first person killed in Death Ship, but it makes sense when you see Death Ship, and you realize what the ship is. I'd order with another blue so you get free shipping. So let me check here. I want to see your message. Watching stock level Forgotten Jelly. If it gets under 500, you're ordering it right away. Yeah, understandable. D'Argento has a film called Trauma. It's a very different film. His film was his only film that he ever did, like his only like kind of feature film that he did in America, North America, because well he made Two Evil Eyes, but that was just a collaboration with somebody with Ramiro. That wasn't one he did on his own. Hey, and ready, welcome, man. But Trauma is the only film that he ever did, and he tried to kind of make a North American giallo is what he did. Brad Dourif's in it, Asia Argento is in it. It's a great film and definitely needs yeah, the end kind of it really stamps it in there. Did you also think he might have been, I don't know, a pedophile? Because that's what I got out of that. That was kind of what I felt was the reason behind the impotence and the whole the odd way that he acted around the kid. That's kind of what I got out of that. And that at least one person that he killed was the girl that came on to him in the okay. That's the one that I Giallo is definitely not his best film. But Dracula 3D is his worst. But yeah, so yeah, we're on the same thing. Thought it was odd, Emily. Honestly, did you listen to the commentary? That the whole commentary goes through. I'm not sure if he didn't want to touch it because it's a sensitive topic or not. But it's a great commentary. But Troy didn't go into that aspect of it. He just kind of mentions it kind of lightly. But it really seemed like if it would have been like just that one sequence near the beginning, but then you have like the impotence and you got the other stuff as well, and it's and then you're like, no, this is all adding up, and the scene at the end too. The grass, well, it's not a grasshopper. It's a praying mantis. But yeah, I actually wanted a T-shirt with that on it because it is such an insane image. They're like Christopher Reeve's remake of Rear Window. I thought you can't beat Rear Window. I thought it was interesting for him to do, and because like he was actually somebody that was, I don't know, it was a little bit too, it hit too close to home. Like not just like I'm obviously not like that, but it hits like I grew up watching Superman, and it was so hard. But there's a guy that actually was like a real life Superman, like even though like what happened to him, and like how he struggled on and stuff like that, and just kept going. That's a real Superman. Daft Punk, yeah, Daft Punk. I'm a huge Daft Punk fan, so that's a given for me right there. Like, and I'm super excited about the soundtracks, and people haven't talked about it much that are in the Lenzi Baker set. There's some great soundtrack stuff and some stuff that's really hard to find. Severin killed it with that soundtrack. They killed it. And it's a 2 CD set too. I mean, like they've gotten as much of the soundtrack of other films as they can when they can't get it. Street Smart is excellent. Street Smart is my favorite Christopher Reeve movie aside from the Superman films. Street Smart and Somewhere in Time are my two favorite Christopher Reeve like non-Superman films. I love Street Smart. It's a favorite of mine. Watched it when I was a kid a lot. I would rent it over and over again. And I'm a street kid. That's it. It makes it great. So that's not enough money. It's killer. I mean, that's the thing. You gotta pick and choose the ones that you want to get right now. And there's so much stuff that's still coming out. There is still like Vinegar Syndrome said, there's a Spanish horror set coming out this year from them, and there's probably a second volume of that Giallo set that's coming out this year. And there's a Gamera set, and there's another set coming out from Vinegar Syndrome, probably probably like a Black Emmanuel set coming out. So there's so much. It's just an insane amount. Morgan Freeman would definitely kill it. Dr. Quinn Metzoma, yeah. Jane Seymour, but yeah. I didn't watch a lot of Dr. Quinn actually. One of my cousins was like really into that. I'm super excited about the new film. I love Daft Punk. I really want to see our General back doing some non-supernatural stuff. See, I haven't got any of the Universal horror sets. Now, what Emily's talking about is the recently announced, Scream Factory's recently announced, along with the Ghost Ship, is that they're putting out a new Universal horror set. This, I think, is going to be volume 5 in their series of Blu-ray sets that they're putting out of these Universal horrors. Now, one of the neat things about this, and for those that definitely didn't notice it or didn't take note of it, is that one of the films on the new Universal horror set is actually a Hammer horror film set, a Hammer horror film. So like people that like are huge Hammer fans know that. So definitely, like if you're a Hammer fan, you're collecting Hammer stuff. The Universal Horror Volume 5 set should be on your radar. And I'm glad you mentioned it because I forgot to. But I now when I saw it, I'm like, I gotta get it. I want to get that set, and because I'm a completist and I like the old classic films, I definitely want to grab the other sets as well. I still got to pick up the Fly collection too. That's another one. I'm probably gonna get my mom to like. She asks me every year Christmas what I want. I'm probably gonna get her to give me a couple of the Universal sets, and then I'll just buy like the other ones myself. I don't even Volume 5 Indicator, the Hammer's Indicator, that as well. But yeah, that's the thing. Like the Universal Horror Volume 5 has a Hammer film on it, and I know that because of my dad actually. Because I remember when my dad, from years ago, my dad was searching for that film because he was like at the time he was trying to find all the Hammer films. He was a huge Hammer fanatic, and I remember him like looking for the film, like looking for it by name. I don't have the Hammer horror TV series. My dad has it. I need it though. I definitely need it. I think I got a disc of it, like just like one disc, but I need more. It's okay. I mean, the first Power, it's like that's the one with the guy from La Bamba. That's the way I remember him. But yeah, I thought it was okay. Yeah, when I spoke to Brian, me and Brian did the first actually watch list video that he did, podcast that he did for Just the Discs. I was on that, and basically what we did was we picked five sets, like 5 movies that we hadn't seen, and that we had in our collection. We're kind of excited to watch and want to kind of recommend films to each other. So if you've listened to that podcast, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Brian recommended the first 2 Universal horror sets. And he let me know there's features on there that I was not aware of, like really good features too. And that just the transfers are incredible on those sets. So there are ones that I definitely have to check out. So yeah, if you haven't listened to that, because I've been on 3 episodes of Just the Disc podcast, and it's been my pleasure to be on there actually. Hopefully one of these days I'll get to number 4. But it's been so crazy busy lately. There we go. So this is here we go, the final thing. I'm opening up for some questions. If not, then what we're going to do is we're going to end it for today. And actually, Semitic, I'm working on that. Start my own podcast. That's good. That's it's definitely coming down the road. I have a concept for it, and I mentioned some of it on here. Is that I want to do a podcast that's going to be like not just, I don't want to do what other people are doing and just copy that. I want to take what I'm doing here and kind of sort of do it in a way in a podcast form. And with that, as a lot of you guys are content creators or are uber fans of like certain films and certain genres. So for me, one of the things I want to do with my podcast when it eventually comes around is basically to have some of you guys guesting on different ones. I already spoke to Emily, I spoke to Michelle. I mentioned like to a few people that I want to have them on when I start the podcast up. And I'll be picking people for certain topics. Chris is getting into the big slasher stuff, so there's stuff we can do there. That's why one of these days I will be doing, and I'm not doing it right now because of everything that's going on. And I want this to just be like just a chill time. But why I put the super chat thing on my channel is because one of these days I'm going to be doing like a couple like super chat, like Q&A, whatever style videos type of thing. And that'll be going towards like equipment for the podcast, like the microphone, stuff like that. That is not right now. So there's no pressure on anything like with that at this point. Because I just want, right now what I want to do is to make content where we can just relax and just forget about all the craziness and enjoy ourselves and talk about movies. But there you go. So if there's any question before I go on there. Fassbender. Fassbender just tears me up, man. I'm sure I can do it. You can do that. But right now, not so much. I'm like, I watch horror all day and all night. I watch Giallo. I can watch lots of, but some films for reasons I haven't started watching Ingmar Bergman films, and I thought, well, this is a perfect time to watch them, but it's not actually. Because of that. But yeah, I'll be doing podcasts on different stuff, and I'll be doing a podcast and I'll be doing it different topics, different weeks, and I'll be reaching out to you guys to come on. So you'll find out when. Powder, yeah. Well, Powder was directed by Victor Salva, who directed the films, the Jeepers Creepers films, and also directed Clown House. And Clown House is one of those movies that is now. Yeah, oh, sorry. Yes, there's a Pokemon shirt. Is that what the catch 'em all things? I was trying to figure out what that was. Yeah, sorry. Yes, I got the new Pokemon game. Pokemon. I got Shield. I didn't get Sword. I got Shield. I'm a huge Pokemon fan. Just so you know, it is a Pokemon one. Unknown and appreciate horror. So that's a good idea. We do have to get together once you get your camera and that to do that. I want to do some like eventually. I'm trying to get the time together to do some like crossover videos with people as well. So I'll reach out for some people with that too. Yeah, Powder was directed by the Jeep. So Disney literally gave the guy who had made Clown House and got to jail for raping a kid and filming it several times, the directing chair for Powder. Why? Because he was a friend of the Coppolas. That's why. That's why that happened. If it was anybody else, he would never worked again. I don't mind like if somebody wants like the Jeepers Creepers or Powder or anything like that. I will have a firm stance and say that Clown House should never, ever, ever, ever be released on DVD or Blu-ray ever again. And what's the difference between like, say, if somebody watched Jeepers Creepers and somebody watched Clown House? The difference is, well, Jeepers Creepers was a film that was made with adults and people, and as far as I know, anyway, there's no crimes committed on Jeepers Creepers. Now, on Clown House, the lead actor of the film, the little boy in that film, was sorry guys, but was raped several times by the director Victor Salva, who actually filmed it. And if you've ever seen the film, and I saw the film when it long ago when it first came out, before any of the stuff like was public knowledge actually, I didn't know about it. You can tell there's something off. You can really tell there's something off with that film, and with the way that he shoots like the kid and like has like there's actually a scene like and any other film this would be like an innocent scene where basically there's a kid getting undressed, kind of like almost like a nude little boy. It's kind of naked, but you can tell there's something really wrong, and even in the later films, Oh well, man, look what happened to him. It's sadly he probably hopefully he's feeling better like than he was back then. But yes, I'm definitely that stays with it, sticks with you. But if you watch Jeepers Creepers 2 and you see the way that he photographs some of the people in that film, and then the comment that's made in Jeepers Creepers 3 about like molestation and all that type of stuff, then yeah, it's a really disturbing thing to think about. Anyway, I don't want to end my video on on such a dark note. Just know that that movie, if any company ever put that out, I would definitely not buy for the company again. I can't think of a company that would though. Though one thing that annoys me is I'll go to Blu-ray.com like to check out some stuff, and there's always this one or two dudes, and they're always like, "Oh, when is somebody should totally put out this film?" And one guy was like, "Yeah, they should put out the film with a commentary by the kid." And I'm like, when I saw that comment, I'm like, I want to punch that guy for that comment. I really want to punch the guy for that comment because that guy's a dick. I did watch Polanski, and I don't know because I'd always been like, okay, Polanski was damaged and was the time, and I made excuses, and because I liked a lot of his work, and then like in recent years, it's come to light that there were more charges than that one charge. Man, I really hate getting into this stuff. It really makes me feel uncomfortable. But which really makes me rethink. Can you separate the art from the artist? And when can you? And these are not the only two. So there's like, look at the Bryan Singers and stuff like that too, and that's it's a whole other story. So let's ask me a question that's not so disturbing before we finish this video. Ask me a lighthearted question, guys. Yeah, that's true. Amy, you got to try. You got to try and separate. What am I expecting in the mail next? Next is probably the L. Absent set, hopefully. And I'm doing a trade with somebody. So that too. So I won't tell you what that is, but there are 3 films coming. I don't have the fly set. I wish I had the fly set. Actually, when I was gonna buy the set, it was this or the fly set. And I went with this. Uncle Pond I like because I had a big crush on Jane Fonda, actually. Favorite John Candy film? I don't know. I mean, it's got so much good stuff. Here's one I liked that a lot of people didn't like, was Delirious, where he plays like a writer. Do I have American Werewolf from London set? I don't. I just got the original Blu-ray. Will they finally get Laura Gemser to do an interview on the new box set? I hope so. I mean, I saw some interviews with Laura Gemser, whereas the 2 most famous people that played Emmanuel are Sylvia Crystal and Laura Gemser. If you want to put a third one in there for the newer stuff, we'll go with Laura Allen. But Laura Gemser is known for the Black Emmanuel series, kind of like the more action-oriented Emmanuel stuff. Uncle Buck is awesome, by the way. You want to get it for your dad? Yeah, it's got a great commentary. I got it from my dad for his birthday, actually, last year. But the Laura Gemser is very different than Emmanuel. Like, just know that. Like, kind of going in. Sylvia Crystal, really kind of, you can see her, and when she talks too, you get the Emmanuel feel. When Laura Gemser talks about it, you can tell it was a job. So the commentary is by I think it's by Charles Bronson's biographer, if I got it correct. I think you really liked it, so it was definitely worth picking up. How Great Outdoors! I saw that in theater actually. I remember watching Great Outdoors in theater. That was I liked that film a lot. Him and Dan Aykroyd. I like Dan Aykroyd too. Anyway, at 85 minutes, guys, I'm Aaron. This is my movie study, but next time we're on video, it's probably going to be downstairs in the movie library. You are the Cult of Cinema. You guys rock. Thank you so much for coming in today and talking. We got to talk about a lot of stuff. You'll be in next time early. Don't worry, I'm sure you will. And I'm not sure if my next video is going to be. I'm working on some stuff. I'm working on a regular Cult of Cinema video, and I'm working on a Cult of Cinema After Dark video as well. So you'll see those very soon. And right now it is that time, guys. It's time for tea. The slash video, that's probably gonna be one of the ones coming up soon, because I don't need to do too much research behind that, because it's just one of those where I watch so many slashers. Have a great evening.